have other investments. We don't just put all our eggs in one basket. I think that's terrible. And I think that's stupid. You're gambling here at this time. Guys like Michael Saylor are gambling.
Mohamad Al Abdulrazzaq, the founder of 71 Digital crypto mining company based in Dubai.
You really gotta understand, like, what am I getting into? Because, you know, when you say crypto, what's crypto? There's exchanges, there's liquidity providers, you can launch a crypto coin, you launch a blockchain, you could mine, support the network.
Follow along as he shares his wisdom into the crypto mining space, running one of the largest UAE crypto mining operations.
Javier was even worse. The guy was like advocating for this coin, and then a few hours later, they just shut it down.
What got you into crypto in the first part?
Kind of a personal, but also philosophical way to think of is when, if you guys remember the crash of 2008 in the stock market, that kind of gave me interested into understanding what is this concept. So the concept is to have a decentralized financial system that is a tangible asset that is against inflation rather than just depending on the fiat system.
I'm sure most of you heard of Bitcoin, but there's a whole industry behind the scenes that's going on here in the UAE, the mining of digital gold. And I'm sitting here with Mo, who's the founder of 71 Digital, one of the leading mining companies in the UAE. And he has a miner here. Sorry if that's so hard.
That's fine.
Here's some of the miners he has on display. Mo, how you doing today?
I'm very good. How you doing?
Doing good. So some of the conversations I want to bring up today, 3 key parts is crypto mining, kind of what is it, how does it work, and why is it still a massive business opportunity? Number 2, the future of mining in crypto. Is it still profitable? How do the markets crash? How does it perform when the markets crash? And of course, new technology that's going to change the game with it. And third, the entrepreneurial journey. What does it take to run of course, mining business here in the UAE? And you kind of do global operations, so all around.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, so let's dive right into it. So to go back, what got you into crypto in the first part?
So what got me into crypto, kind of a personal but also philosophical way to think of, is when, if you guys remember the crash of 2008 in the stock market. A lot of people lost money because people were trusting a lot on the central financial system, and it let people down. And then we saw the revolution of Bitcoin with the anonymous Satoshi, along with the core developers that were able to publish the white paper of Bitcoin. That kind of gave me interested into understanding what is this concept. So the concept is to have a decentralized financial system that is a tangible asset that is against inflation rather than just depending on the fiat system. The phenomenal part of why it got me interested is the entrepreneurial side. Which means what? I am able to create my own bank with technology, with hardware, by utilizing ASIC computing. Back in the days, it was CPUs. And then it evolved when the difficulty of the network got more more congested, you could say, with GPUs. Afterwards, manufacturers decided to launch ASIC mining. For me, on the entrepreneurial side, it gave me this opportunity that I could create my own bank. So with utilizing computers and obviously using energy. This is the reason why, for me, this has become part of my life and my future as well. So I've been venturing for the past, since 2017.
Wow, 2017. But you heard about the concept of Bitcoin back in 2008, 2009?
I learned about the concept more towards 2010. It came out in 2009. So, and then you had obviously the white paper came out a few years later. I think it was like 2009. I think 2009, like Halloween, actually on Halloween day. I was a young individual. Don't forget, I was about 20 years old. I didn't really, I was still in school. But I was always motivated to learn more, to see if there's a potential in the future for it. And now we see that concept in fruition. And we've been scaling ever since as a company.
Wow. And so your first business in crypto was crypto mining?
No, it wasn't actually, guys. On a personal level, it was, but it wasn't a really actual company. But one of the first, the first company I got into was in crypto, was actually an auditing company. We were into DeFi space. At the time, if we go back, compared like the other mining coins, there was Ethereum before it merged in 2022. That was very profitable, and it was consuming less energy, and it was also for small and mid-sized companies that were able to kind of like dive into that space, because it doesn't cost too much capital to inject. The cost of electricity and the consuming is quite standard in comparison to if you really want to hedge with, the big dogs. We're talking like in the megawatts. Back in the days, if you had 1 megawatt of GPU mining just in Ethereum, you were considered big. I cannot say the same for Bitcoin. So the first company actually in crypto, that's what really got me into understanding the whole concept of proof of work, proof of stake, the oracles, the documentations, cold and hard wallets, the exchanges, if it's centralized, if it's decentralized, a rug pull, a scam coin, a meme coin. The whole mechanism behind it got me. I learned more when we had the auditing company. That was a good start for me to understand more on the market behavior and what people look for. They look for transparency.
That makes sense. And for people that don't know much about mining, but maybe they know about crypto, why is mining important?
It's a good question. So it all depends on the concept of a project. So for example, if you like a Bitcoin, it's a proof of work concept. Compared to Ethereum or Solana, it's a proof of stake, which means all tokens are already been distributed. There's nothing to mine. Now, why do I like the mining concept more? Because it's related to security. It decentralizes the network. So anyone who has access to energy, anyone who has access to internet could mine and could create a node. So let me explain to you in lantern terms. How does mining work, right? Basically, it requires work to prove that this coin has been minted. What you do is every minute, for example, there is a block of hash for miners to go and collect rewards. That's one. It's in the mempool. It's all digital. Number two, miners operate like a Visa, verifying transactions. They earn a fee for each transaction that has been transacted P2P. Now, we know in the concept, I'm sure that could be another question you could ask me. Well, what happens if all coins have been mined? Because Bitcoin is up to 21 million. We're almost there yet. Well, the concept is once all coins have been mined, there will be more transactions eventually, because it's just semantics. There will be more adoptions, there will be more transactions, there will be more volume. And so the miners will still be making what they used to make while there was available tokens for mining at the hash block, but in comparison with transactions.
I see. And your current operation, it's 5 megawatts.
5 megawatts in the UAE. We're also operating in another GCC country with 5 megawatts in Kuwait. And by the end of this quarter, we're close to quarter two, we're going to add another 5 megawatt.
And could you explain, you're running a 5 megawatt operation, mining operation. How does that compare to other global operations?
That's comparing to like the other top mining companies. We're talking publicly listed companies. We're frankly small. However, if we're talking about Marathon, Bitfarms, BitDeer, those are publicly traded companies. They're listed in NASDAQ. Therefore, they're getting a lot of external investment. They have many shareholders as well. Compared to 71 Digital, we're a private company. So we're self-invested by our own. We're four shareholders. However, 5 megawatts for 4 people, it's quite substantial. Don't forget, we do a lot of self-mining. That's a lot of our own investment. We also offer hosting for our clients. But the way we navigated at the start was self-mining to create a cash flow injected company.
You say 5 megawatts, it's good for 4 people. Like, what is that, I guess, to like how many miners you're in this operation? Like what?
Well, Well, we're looking at around 1,200.
1,200.
1,200 miners,
Okay.
yeah.
And that's considered average, small?
And depends on what you're mining, but if you're mining, for example, Bitcoin, it's mid-size, I would say. But you have to understand, it doesn't stop there for us. We always have to scale. You have to understand that, how the difficulty works, on how mining works actually, it's that there's always other miners and there's always new mining equipment being plugged in. They increase the hash rate. Therefore, when you have, it's mathematical, like when you divide, there is a fixed number of mining rewards, but then you have to divide on how much is increased per month or per day, the hash rate. Now the hash rate will then decrease your revenue. Therefore, you always have to be in a race to add more machines. If you know how to hedge and scale, you're always going to be above, the expected losses. So you always want to make sure that to increase your farm gradually. You don't have to do it all the time, but you can do it like once per month. Like once a month or quarterly month, but make sure you have it in a good volume.
That makes sense. And you said something about you also have your own miners, you host for other people.
Yeah.
When it comes to revenue from owning a mining operation, where is that mainly coming from? Like, is it just the mining of coins? Is it also hosting and getting people's machines and all that stuff? Like what are the revenue sources that one can make from, I guess, a mining operation?
So exactly. So there is three types of, I would say three type of mining profits in a mining company. Self-mining, if you invested on your own miners and then your expected ROI, you do your math right, make sure that your cost of electricity is below the average, because so you could increase your ROI. There is hosting, so you offer clients who don't necessarily have the infrastructure while you have it. You're on an advantage, so you could sell them part of the electricity that you have. In return, you charge them whatever the MSRP price is, or you can give them a good rate depending on the volume they have. There's always room for negotiation. That's a good source of revenue because it's constant. So it doesn't matter about the revenue that I'm losing because of the difficulty rate goes up. I'm giving you, it's like you have to pay me rent.
Yeah.
So it's a good source of income, hosting. There's just one factor that you always have to evolve is the customer service, because people will be contacting you if the machines go down. That's why for us, we stand out because first of all, we don't cheap out on infrastructure. We monitor 24/7. We don't take a penny from your wallet. We don't even know. We don't go get access to that. So there's full transparency, and where our uptime is proven of to be up over 99% per month. That's good for all types, air cooling, hydro, and immersion. The third part of profits in a mining company is repair, actually. See, miners, they get old, like this baby. But
how old is this, by the way?
this baby is kind of old. This is at least 4 years old.
How can you tell?
Because I know this brand. I know this model. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course. S19.
S19.
So,
did it release in 2019?
No.
Okay.
So the thing about a miner is that there's always parts available. It's like a car. Now sometimes the hash boards they burn down. Sometimes you need to change the control board. Sometimes you need to replace the fans. But there's always replacement parts that you could replace it and repair it. So that's a source of income people are willing to pay, because it's like, why would I throw away a whole set of a miner where I could just replace some of its parts? And that happens to everyone. I mean, even on my own machines, sometimes I have to repair them. The cost is a fraction of what I paid for the whole machine. So it makes more sense for me to repair it. It's not even a question or a second thought. People actually pay for that. So having a repair center or a repair technician adds more revenue for your business.
That makes a lot of sense. And you talked about, of course, hosting is a big thing. Is that how a mining company scales quick, is by hosting? Or like, I guess your current mining operation, like what's like the ratio? 50% are yours, 50% are others?
Okay, so for us, right now we have a total of 10 megawatts, I would say half. For now, it's half and half.
Half and half. Okay.
Yeah. But we're also kind of like focusing more on the hosting for this year. We have a lot of demand. So for us, in terms of what's more profitable, is that the question you're asking?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. To scale like your business.
If you want to scale, to be honest, you gotta understand all concepts. To be honest, you have to apply all possible streams: self mining, hosting, selling machines as well. I mean, sometimes we have machines that we've bought them from the past market when the prices were a lot competitive, a lot friendly competitive. I'd say now they're a bit more expensive, but there's still a demand for them. I could sell them and I could get back my return and also profit. So selling machines is a way to go, but there's just too many players. I find when you host, there's less hosting providers. And at the end of the day, when you purchase a machine, it's going to have to be plugged somewhere. I'd rather be a host.
Kind of like real estate.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you currently mine in UAE. I know you said you had operations in US.
Operations in the US. That's more with our partners in the US.
Okay.
But essentially just for 71 Digital, we have in the UAE and in Kuwait.
Yeah. Because what I'm wondering is like, if someone, let's just say, wants to earn some, because I think mining is a great way to make passive income. If someone wants to buy their first miner, get into mining, what areas should they be looking into? What type of companies should they be looking into? How do they know if 71 Digital is the right company? How do they know if, company B is the right company?
That's a good question. I mean, what you need to look into at the end of the day is how much is going to cost me. I mean, obviously you do your research if you want to know how, professional they are, what's their reviews, what's their uptime. But the key is what people ask is how much is going to cost me. We have to know that energy is kind of scarce. So everyone's fighting for energy. If you have energy and you have access to it, but you're able to offer people a better price, people will go for you. The reason why we are a leading company is because our prices for energy rates is way lower than anyone in the market, especially in the UAE and any country in the GCC. Because we've done our math. Like I told you, we're all investors, right? So we don't have that many external parties that can affect the prices. So that's one thing they have to look into. That's number two is the stability of a country. Is the country safe? Am I going to get robbed? Okay. What we do is we never publicly show the IP address of the location. We mask it with a proxy or we use a VPN and we build our own VPNs. So our team, everyone is skilled in like I'm personally, I'm not more of a technical guy, but more of the executive. But my team, they're software engineers, computer engineers, electrical engineers. So we all have our skills in different fields. They focus more on the day-to-day operations. We make sure that our work is on point, because the way I present my client is either he's going to buy from me or he's going to invest in me. Those are the factors. So I always put them at the same level. I respect them as I don't care if you're like, for me, if you're a client, I treat you like I treat an investor.
Yeah, so it's never really good if you're looking for mining places and you see their address on their website. It's probably a red flag, right?
That's the thing. It's like, if it's an office, it's fine. But if you're going to show me the location and the address of the mining site, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
It's like a bank is going to show their vault. Hey, guys, this is where I store all my money. I mean, they kind of technically have to do it, but it's fully on security, right? It's like armed to the teeth. So I also need to add is that if you're also like shopping for a hosting provider, make sure that the country that you're going to has modern infrastructure. Has great, electric grids. Also, very importantly, is the legal framework. Is mining illegal? If it's illegal, forget about it, right? See, in Kuwait, it's a gray zone. People think it's illegal. It's not illegal. It's just a gray zone. But it's getting towards, we're going to see probably in the future, could be this year, Little hint. We're going to see a legal framework. But for example, in the UAE, why people opt to go here is because there's a legal framework. You can set up companies, you can get power, the power is also very competitive in terms of price. The US as well is another place, but I think it's very expensive, the US, because it's all condensed in primarily in Texas, Oklahoma, Florida. It's very expensive. So if you're really looking into cheap cost of electricity, you got to move somewhere outside of the US. And honestly, the best spot right now is GCC. It's full of energy. There's a lot of natural resources. They're removing the gas flares, for example, because that's wasting energy and utilizing it for new source of electricity.
And I've heard right now, of course, being outside of America is obviously going to offer cheaper electricity. What's your thoughts on Africa compared to the Middle East? Of course, safety, but...
Okay, so Africa, well, look, in terms of natural resources, they can compete with us easily. They have vast land. They have great lakes. They're utilizing it with hydro, for example, in Ethiopia. So if you're looking into Ethiopia or Nigeria, the problem that I faced, the problem that I hear from my own clients, it's management and stability. That's the issue in Africa. If Africa was able to kind of handle its affairs, to just maintain this mentality of fair market, fair trade, because over there, who's going to protect you if someone steals from you? That's the problem. Over here, there is law, and people respect the law, no matter if you're local or you're not local.
It's the safest place in the whole world.
It's the safest place in the whole world. I mean, there are other places that are safer.
What?
Kuwait.
Kuwait, okay.
Okay. But this is why it's important. This is why, all my thanks goes to the leadership of this country and the leaderships of also in this region, the GCC, is that they don't compromise on safety. And when you have safety, you have law. And when you have law, and they allow you to do free trade in market. It allows for business opportunities. And when you have it in a harmonious, kind of utopic environment, there's just doors open for you. But sometimes they close down. So you always have to chase them.
Yeah. And what are the most important coins, if someone wants to get in the mining business? Of course, BTC's the trademark coin. It's the grandfather. What are the most, what coins do you mine, and what are coins that people should be mining?
Well, I primarily mine Bitcoin. But there are other coins as well if you want to use it to cover expenses and cash flow. It would be the script mining, so Dogecoin, Litecoin, very volatile. But there's a huge demand for it. It's the second largest community. They've been going on almost at the same pace as Bitcoin. So the difficulty also is very strong. So there's not much difference when it comes to people plugging in more machines. We've seen other projects, for example, CKB, Kadena, Caspa. Everyone had projections on those coins, but they've kind of fell off the grid. But honestly, if this is what I would tell a client, if I talk to you, you came to over here and you were inquiring about purchasing which miners and on what algorithm, what coin should I mine, I would tell you, honestly, it's either going to be Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Dogecoin. Now, Litecoin, Dogecoin are the same algorithm, so you can do merge mining. So that's the phenomenal part about it, is so you mine at the same time. It's the same machine. But those are the coins, man.
So Bitcoin, of course, is very saturated coin, I would say, as an investor right now. Maybe it's not. But everyone talks about it's a grandfather. For someone getting into mining,
you make it sound like it's an old man.
Yeah.
He's still very young.
It is.
It's been around since 2009. It's the grandfather of coins. You said the same thing to me back in when we
Bitcoin
first met at the Abu Dhabi Bitcoin conference. You called it the grandfather of all coins. I said no. It is the king of all coins.
Yes.
It's the reigning champion. It's the undefeated champion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I see all these meme coins going on, all these people pushing out these coins, famous celebrities and stuff.
Unfortunately,
I get lost.
Unfortunately, I mean that's something that I want to kind of separate, both industry. We're all in the same industry, right? But they're different. Everyone has their own utility. You can even see it in the crowd. I mean, when you went to Abu Dhabi, you saw the crowd, right?
That was the best. The Bitcoin event was the best crypto event I ever been to.
You saw the quality of people that attended, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I've attended, even before when I was attending Bitcoin, I used to attend DeFi's conferences. Permissionless, I went to Digital Assets Summit by Blockworks, Consensus, ETH Denver by the ETH Summit, the whole ETH community, or the hackathons as well. There's a huge difference. It's either you're going to have corporate America, right? Or you're going to have
Degenerates.
Degenerates
Yeah.
that don't kind of understand, the financial aspect where there's a lot of ethics, there's a lot of morality. It's very important because it's like you're not going to be sitting behind your computer all day and just like live in this anonymous world. I'm for it. Like the reason why I got into crypto is because I don't want to disclose everything I have.
Of course.
I want to keep privacy. Yeah, it's for my own safety, for my own family safety. But there's also, when it comes to the entrepreneurial side, the business ethics of it, is that I'm not coming here to cheat you. I'm not here to scam you. I'm against that. The whole purpose of crypto was to fight this kind of method, this mentality. It's like I scam you and I get away with it. And back in 2008 when all these corporations got their bailouts, but people were losing their homes. How do you compare, that time when we had a cause? So that's why we got into Bitcoin, is because we wanted to have our own decentralized system that generates wealth for the people. And then you go on create meme coins to scam the same people. So for me, it's a whole fundamental clash I have with that kind of community, which I full on respect with their innovation. It's just they lack the fundamental core of business ethics.
Of course. And of course, Donald Trump became president. He released a coin. Then Melania released a coin. And then I watched CoffeeZilla about the Argentina president.
Yeah, Javier Milei.
Yeah, Javier Milei. And how does that affect your business?
It does, because unfortunately, let's not forget the Bybit hack that just occurred. 1.6 billion in ETH.
Yeah.
You see,
was that North Korea, by the way?
I don't know, man. I mean, the Lazarus Group, that's what they're we don't know. I mean, it could go both ways. It could be, I don't want to accuse anyone because I don't want to get sued. But I've seen this happen a long time ago. It's an old trick of the book. And they're trying to say it's because of some kind of multi-sig vulnerability. But the thing is that they hacked the cold wallet. That's the intrinsic part. Say, it's a ledger wallet. I don't know. I mean, we need to investigate. There should be more investigation on the CEO. That's all I'm going to say.
And it's so weird because I feel like we're in such a weird time now, especially these past 2 years. Is there any regulate, Trump released a coin, all these famous people are releasing coins.
So you say 2 years, right?
Yeah.
I'd say 2 months.
2 months.
We saw, when I say we, I mean the whole crypto community. I watched live that day of the election of voting results, okay? And we kept seeing a historical change, obviously on the good side of crypto, of a non-stop appreciation value. It was just keeping going up. Obviously for us it was amazing. It was like, okay, there you go. We got what we wanted, jackpot. But it's been a roller coaster since the new year.
It has.
It has been. It has been a roller coaster. We're still waiting for the strategic Bitcoin reserve. We saw a dump in the market. There's been talks about, or news that came out that 3 states so far have rejected the strategic reserve, including Wyoming, which I kind of find it surprising because Senator Lumens, she's the one who advocating for, she's the representative of Wyoming. She's the one who was at the Bitcoin Nashville event advocating for the strategic reserve. I don't understand. So something is not adding up. It's weird. Like you just mentioned, you got two presidents in 1 year, in the same period of time, launching a meme coin, and obviously Javier was even worse because the guy was like advocating for this coin, and then a few hours later they just shut it down. And
100 million.
100. Well, I heard 100 million just the developer made 100 million.
I forget the guy. I think his name was like Hayden Davis.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But was it worth it for him? I mean, he's always gonna walk out the street looking behind his shoulders. No.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I told you, these people are willing to sacrifice, their safety because they don't go out much. That's another thing that we could discuss.
Yeah, no. Like I want to know kind of your thoughts on the future of crypto, the future of things. Like, is crypto a good business to be in, or is there any worries that you have about it? Do you look at it? Are you optimistic about it?
That's a good question. I'm thinking, look, you really got to do your research. You really got to understand, like, what am I getting into? Because, when you say crypto, what's crypto? There's exchanges, there's liquidity providers. You can launch a crypto coin, you launch a blockchain. You could mine, support the network. That's what we do. Are you going to be, I don't know, it depends on what you're doing. I mean, don't forget, there's the Web3 space. So are you going to be building on the Web3? Are you going to create metaverse? You're going to create gaming, create virtual tokens for games that's going to be created as an asset that could be sold on a marketplace. It all depends on your knowledge of the space. Like, what are you anticipating? Are you anticipating quick returns? If you want to do that, then okay, then you do trade, arbitraging and stuff. Hold for futures. I think that it's still gonna be bright, regardless of some kind of rocky days that we have, bumpy rides. I think there's gonna be much more embrace and adoption, and it's gonna be the future because now you have countries talking about having their own reserves. So it's inevitable. It outpaces the traditional fiat system, which I find it worthless when you just keep on printing money without any, backing. So yeah, 100%. There's a future for it and a brighter future.
And for someone wanting to let's just say, start a mining company of their own, would you suggest them to right now?
No. Leave it to me.
but be honest though, like I know it's competitiveness, right? It's
100%. Look, if they understand it's not easy. That's the question. I'm sure they could, if they did their math, they have the proper team. It's really not easy. You really have to understand a lot of because it's tangible. Don't forget. It's not just behind a computer that you can operate. There's the software, obviously, but there's also the infrastructure. There's land. There's the legal aspects. There's the engineering part of it, it depends on what are you mining, like what type of machine. This is an air cooling machine, but there's hydro, there's immersion, it's its own liquid that you have to provide to remove the fans as well. But those are, I would say, more efficient because they remove the aspect of dust. So we see with this beautiful thing, you always have to make sure that you shut down the mining site just for a small period of time to dust out all the dust particles because you don't want dust to go inside. It will mess up the machine. So there's other factors as well.
So what's the biggest challenge though you face with 71 Digital?
Well, I would say the scaling part. It's a challenge. It's not that easy because there's competition as well. When it comes to increasing your energy output. That's it, I think. But so far I think we've done very well. We were able to continuously and not stop to kind of reach for access to power for a good rate as well. Those are probably the challenges we face. Another challenge as well is, I would say, the weather here sometimes, especially for air cooling. So we had to optimize our infrastructure. Luckily, we have a good team. So you see here, it's moist. That's why you don't want to mine. I'm not going to tell you where I mine. For safety reasons, but you don't want to mine.
Yourself.
You don't want to mine next to the city, that's for sure. You don't want to be doing it anywhere on the coast because that's going to create a lot of moisture and that's not good for the machines. But that and I would say, how can I forget? Last year, I was here when the flood happened. when there was that heavy rain, and that was a challenge for us. We had to shut down everything. Luckily, we were able to kind of react, and there was no damage. But that was a scary moment.
Yeah, I believe running a mining operation takes a lot of confidence, which I'm sure you have. You have to be kind of crazy to do it because there's so many ups and downs with crypto. How have you navigated through your ups and downs?
And in terms of what? Like if you
I guess the Bitcoin halving effects, right?
So
4 years.
Okay, yes. Now, if we talk recently, okay, what you could say kind of helped us, and it kind of kept us, I wouldn't say lucky, but we had an advantage from other past competitors in the past before the halving of last year, is the ETFs. When the ETFs occurred, it created injected a flow, so there was more volume, and obviously, with the whole halving concept, there's scarcity, so there's less Bitcoins available on the mempool. That increases the value in monetary value. The other challenge that I would say is times like this makes it difficult. So you have to understand, don't put, we have, as investors, we have other investments. We don't just put all our eggs in one basket. I think that's terrible. And I think that's stupid because you're gambling here at this time. Guys like Michael Saylor are gambling.
You think
right?
About it, it's true.
Gambling, but at the end of the day, if he's lucky on that dice, if he gets lucky number 7, he laughs at all of us. But the question is it gonna land on 7? If he's hoping on 7, right? I consider number 7 is lucky. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Ronaldo.
Okay. Are you a Ronaldo fan?
Sweet.
Oh, okay. No. Okay,
You're Messi?
Yes.
Oh, and the podcast.
We're ending it.
Class.
Okay. No, I think they're both great goats.
Yeah.
So you don't want to toss all your eggs in one basket. You always got to make sure you want to hedge. So you always want to make sure you have if you have another business or you have another asset class commodity, you want to make sure that that's doing well because you can't just depend on crypto. So there are other ways of to face challenges. Make sure you have enough savings, man. For example, I'll give you an example, right? If I see the price going down, right, that means I'm making less earnings. I'll make sure that I check in the market for hardware, right? If someone is looking to buy my old machines, I can sell them at the same price I bought them the other time, and I can convert it to a new machine, more efficient machine, more hash rate. That's something I could do for mining. There's another way of also hedging is how do you keep all your asset into Bitcoin, or do you convert it into USDT? So there's a lot of factors you have to really understand, especially on the tokenomics of things. It's is this coin volatile? Is it based on its historical charts? Does it go up in terms of valuations? I mean, Bitcoin does. And I personally think right now when people are panicking, look, I grew up so I spent a lot of time in North America. Okay. A lot of my friends here don't understand the concept of when they see the market here and it's bleeding. I said, hold on, what time is it? They say, oh, it's 12. Okay, fine, it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock here right now, it's still 4 a.m. People are sleeping in New York. People are sleeping in North America. Let's wait until that market opens and we'll see if it's actually, are we bleeding or the bleeding will dry up and then we're gonna patch it up. So there's a lot of things that people need to kind of understand how the world kind of works, especially in the market. So I think times like this, you can always, I guess, buy Bitcoins. Right now it's at 89, 88. A few weeks ago it was at 106. So if it goes back to that price, you can sell it. You just gain your margins.
Yeah, so I think you spoke a fantastic job on mining as a whole, the future of the market, all the risks that are involved. I kind of want to tap into now the investor side. I want to buy a miner with you. How much does it cost? And, what can be, the ROI? How much money can you make with these things?
It's a good question. Look, what you need to understand is you want to look into a machine that is suitable for your size, right? It's a couple thousands of dollars. I'll be honest with you, right?
What's like the lowest entry point?
If you're buying one unit, I don't recommend a Bitcoin miner. Bitcoin miners are for anything above 50 to 100 miners, if not even more. I would say you have to start around 6,000, maybe 4 if you buy futures. The key is not just the amount that you're spending. Is when I plug it in, what are my costs? So that is going to play a part of my ROI. Okay, what's the electricity rate? You can plug it at home. Some people, that's what they do because they have a surplus of power. The issue is this baby consumes a lot. It generates a lot of heat. Okay, and it's not good to keep it in a very warm temperature because those chips are going to burn out, and then you have to repair it, right? So you want to make sure it's in a cool environment. So you got to look into your electricity rate. That's the most important thing after buying a machine. Obviously, it's like you got to ask yourself, okay, how much does it generate? How much does it cost? But the starting point, I would say at least $4,000.
40,000.
4,000.
Oh, 4,000 just for a single miner.
Just for a single miner. I mean, there's other miners. There are home miners if you want.
Yeah.
If someone that's what they're looking for, but don't expect anything substantial in terms of earnings. Maybe like in terms of dirham, maybe you'll make 15 dirham, 10 dirham a day. But if you're looking to make 100, 200 dirham a day, well, then you have to start buying like 1 or 2, 3, 4 miners.
Yeah. So would you even suggest, let's just say someone's trying to save money, they're trying to make some passive income. They can't yet afford to buy, let's just say, real estate property, but they want to get into the crypto mining. Should they save up until they can buy a batch of miners, or should they buy a singular miner? Because you said 40 to 50 can get you a huge operation, but how much would 40 to 50 cost compared to buying a miner for 4,000, you know?
Exactly. I mean, look, it depends on what's your aspirations. If you're looking just for like some passive income to pay off some of your bills, pay off your mortgage, you can start with 1, 2 miners. But if you're looking to like use this as investment to kind of cover more than just your home bills and your utilities and your car and etc., at least it depends on the miner, obviously. Like what are we talking about? Let's say we're talking about, I don't know, L7 or L9. They used to generate beautifully like 50 a day. When Trump was elected, for like 3 months we were caking it, but now it's like dropped to like 23, 24, right? I think the market's going to pick up. It's going to be back to around like 30 and 35 range. But so you do the math. We're talking USD. So if you buy 10 L9s, you're looking around 250 a day.
250 in profit, yeah. Well, not profit,
revenue,
but revenue. Yeah.
But then minus the electricity, we'll say about 20. I'll say about 20. $20 a day per miner. You have 10, that's 200. That's $6,000 a month.
Yeah. And how much would that cost you to start?
I'd say about let's see if the price is going to keep going down. But look, if you let's say you already bought them, you're looking around 100K.
100K.
Yeah.
And when you buy it for 100K, of course, you got to think whether you're going to be hosting the operation or if you're going to pay for like
exactly,
someone like you host, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like for example, if you're doing it at home, your electricity will be way less, obviously. But the question is like, do you have a place that's adequate to host these machines? Don't forget, one machine generates a lot of heat. Imagine 10. Have you ever walked into a mining site? You should come see mine. I have a site. I have multiple. We have multiple sites. Like we don't have like a warehouse, okay? In the UAE, we have like container built. It's more efficient. The flow of air gets in and gets out quicker. So it's actually better for the health of a miner. But when you walk in, you don't feel the heat. Why? Is because, we have a water cooling system, and we have huge, like multiple fans all running on 60 volts. But if you remove that aspect and you look at the temperature of the room, you're looking at about 45 to 65 degrees Celsius. So it's very hot inside, but the noise it makes, you can hear it around the neighborhood.
Of course, it's like a drone, right?
It's like a drone, yeah.
Yeah.
So this nonstop too. It's 24/7. So imagine you put in a room like this. It's not worthy. So for 10 miners, I wouldn't recommend to put it at home. Always make sure you have some place to put it.
10 miners, you suggest doing it yourself?
I mean, if you can do it yourself, you gotta build like a mini pod, which actually we do.
Oh, you do that?
We do mining for home solutions.
Okay.
Where people, if they're looking to buy 10 miners, 20 miners, it all depends if they have enough energy at home or they have a place to put it in. They have, I don't know, a range. We can provide them that because it's self-mining. It's not like you're commercializing it.
So let's just say someone had $100K to buy some miners and give them to you to host. What can be like an expected ROI?
If we're looking at the worst case scenario, you're looking at a year and a half.
Year and a half?
Yeah, a year and a half.
To make your monies back.
Make your monies back. The machines, they can last for a long time. They can last for like at least 5 years. Sometimes with like proper maintenance, 7. But also depends on the difficulty network. So you have to also understand: am I always going to keep the same amount of money I make constant or not? That's why I don't put all your eggs in one basket.
For sure.
But on a standard flow, like on a standard market, a year.
Okay.
On a bull market, you're looking 6 months. You see how it works? It's like every 6 months.
Yeah. It's volatile.
It's very volatile, but listen, man. Like, I don't know if you've been checking on X like today. Everyone's like, where is this like hope that we were all anticipating? With Trump as elected, he was talking about a Bitcoin reserve. He's talking about
Bitcoin, man, they're talking about it.
They're still talking about it, but I mean, Bitcoin's around 88,000 right now.
Yeah.
Trading, but we'll see how it goes.
I mean, it's. I went through the bear market, man. So we're still up, but it's The hope has gone down. So I guess the final question I want to ask you is, would you rather, for the long term, invest in real estate or crypto miners?
Secret.
Secret?
No, it's not a secret. Honestly, look, I think they're both asset class. I mean, if you're let's say like you have enough cash flow and you're investing into Bitcoin mining. I invest in real estate, by the way. That's one part of my investment. I think they kind of bring up the same results.
Okay.
For me, it would definitely be mining.
Okay. Yeah, because if I had 100K, I feel like it's like the new age thing. And mining seems like it can be very, very hands-off. I know real estate can be hands-off, but mining seems like you could be very hands-off, especially if you find someone like you to host them, stuff like that, right?
That's a good marketing pitch. Great advertisement. Thank you so much, Hunter.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that. I think, look, that's a very good question. I mean, if people are asking about, that kind of like, which field should I invest in? Honestly, it all depends on your capital. Depends on what's your expectation. I just think mining is more fun. There's a lot of revenue to make. Still, it's very profitable.
Gotcha. And this is not an endorsed advertisement, but for people that are actually curious into mining and maybe they want to get in contact with you or make some investments, do you accept everyone? Do you want to accept people reaching out to you? Like, how should they get in contact with you?
Well, they can reach out.
What's your ideal client? What are you looking for?
Well, honestly, we're volume agnostic. We're client agnostic. It all depends on what they're looking for. Ideally, I have retail clients. I also have institutional clients. So clients who are buying like in the hundreds of miners. Just yesterday, we had a conversation with a publicly listed company that are operating 100,000 miners, and they're looking to scale. So I don't discriminate anyone. You're more than welcome to come and reach out to me. You can reach out to me through, if you want to check me out on Instagram, we can put it on the description.
Yeah, we will.
And then we can also come and visit us at our office.
Cool.
In Dubai.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure. I hope to do more content with you in the future too.
100%.
All right.
Brilliant.
Let's go.